What's up, Primegold YouTube family? How y'all living today? So today we talking about preparation. So preparation is essentially the foundation for how we perform activity. You know, Malcolm X said, "The future belongs to those who prepare today." You know, Abraham Lincoln said, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first hour sharpening the axe." Now, why would Abraham Lincoln sharpen his axe? Pause. It's gonna make him more effective, you know, and more efficient when he's chopping down that tree. So being prepared, man, you know, why do we practice? You know, practice, man, we talking about practice, you know. We ain't talking about the game, we talking about practice. Yeah, man, we talking about practice, you know, being prepared. You know, being prepared is one of those things that we kind of take for granted sometimes because, like, sometimes we just don't know when things is gonna happen, you know. Sometimes things just pop up. Sometimes things just happen and we're not prepared for it. I remember my little brother passed away and I remember we wasn't prepared, man. Nobody was prepared, man. Everybody was crying. Nobody, like, was ready for it. But just imagine if we would have all been, you know, practicing our, you know, emotional disciplines, and I'm just gonna say just discipline in general, you know, fortifying our mind, you know, practicing fortitude, being able to get through hard situations, you know. But, you know, that stuff is never easy, you know. Losing a loved one is never easy. But yeah, you know, being prepared, man. Being prepared is one of those things, you know, that we must always do because we never know. We never know when life is gonna happen to us, you know. And, you know, when you practice every day, you get 1% better every single day to the point where, you know, nothing can faze you. That's where you wanna get to. That's the point where you wanna be at. So being prepared, you know, that's what we gotta do every single day. And it's never too late. It's never too late to be prepared, you know, or to get prepared. You know, even, you know, the man that was dying next to Jesus on the cross, you know, he got saved in his last moments. So he knew to repent, you know. He knew to repent. And I'm not saying that he was prepared or anything like that, but, you know, at least he took that step, you know, and it prepared him for the afterlife, you know, to make it into the kingdom. So just by that one little step, you know, one little step, that's all it takes, is one little step, you know, one push-up, you know, one sit-up, you know, and that's all it takes, man. It takes that initiative to actually start preparing yourself for your future, you know, for your daily grind, you know, for the things that you want to do in life, for the love of it, you know, and that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do every single day, man. We talking about practice, man. We talking about practice. We talking about practice. But yeah, practice, you know, and practice is what's gonna make you great, man. You need to do the reps over and over and over, you know. That's how you get good. People talk about quality, you know, over quantity, but you gotta put up a lot of reps in order for you to put up quality shots, you know. You gotta know what the bad ones are in order for you to take the good ones. And that's what a lot of people miss, I feel like. A lot of people miss that. Like, they think they just so natural at stuff. Like, some people are more like, they natural killers, you know. They super good at just a thing that, you know, when they first start at something, they super good. But, you know, how can I say this? It's about consistency. You know, being consistent. Can you do it over and over and over and over and over again? Can you continue to, you know, rise to the occasion? And I know I put in one of my quotes. I say you don't rise to the occasion. I don't actually remember. I think I said you don't rise to the occasion, but you fall to your habits or how prepared you are. So I don't know if I exactly said fall, but basically whatever level you're at, that's the level you're gonna perform at. And if it's somebody who's been working and putting up way more reps than you, that man is gonna beat you. 9 out of 10, that man is gonna beat you. Unless you get lucky. But man, a man who's focused and prepared, that's a hard man to stop. So I'm just encouraging y'all, I'm encouraging man right now to get on y'all grind, to making sure that y'all keep practicing and that you want to stay practicing all the time, until the game hit, when you get in that game, go into monster mode, go into that killer mode. Because at the end of the day, that's all you can do. Because the journey is the reward. There is not there. Once you get there, it's like, then what? You still got to keep doing your thing. You still got to be, life don't stop. Life don't stop just because, you make $1 million. Now you gotta practice for, how you living at $1 million, So even when you, any kind of goal you want to become bigger, you want to hit like 180, 190. All right, cool. You still got to do maintenance. It's still maintenance behind that, to these so-called Christians out there, once you become saved, you still gotta, keep your faith, because through faith you're saved. So people say they believe, but do you really believe? Because that practice is gonna show if you believe or not. Are you actually practicing what you believe? Are you actually, going to practice and putting up them reps? Are you going to the gym, doing them push-ups? Are you eating the right foods? Are you listening to the right podcasts? Are you reading the right books? Are you listening to the right people? You need to be practicing all of these daily habits, being prepared. That's one thing I feel like that separated me from a lot of people. Like, not saying I'm the most prepared, but if you come from where I come from, a lot of people wasn't prepared, man. A lot of people wasn't prepared for this life. They end up falling by the wayside, end up falling, victim to drugs, end up falling victim to, influences in the environment that got them trapped up, and, baby mama situations and all kind of stuff, man. Not saying that having kids is a bad thing, but it gets to the point where you want it better for your life. You wanted more out of life, and that's why I'm preaching to people, man. Because you want to be the best best person who you can be, and you only can go so far for how you see yourself. But if you keep practicing on that kind of stuff, man, if you keep practicing every single day, that, the possibility is limitless, That's where you got to get to. You got to get to that limitless mindset. That mindset where, your capability is way beyond what you're doing right now. And that's why we practice. Like even right now, I'm doing this video. This is my, this is going to be the 3rd video I drop. But I've been dropping videos, but I'm just getting better every single time. Like right now, I'm just communicating and working on that skill set right now of doing this YouTube stuff. I'm really new to YouTube. I'm a new boo to the YouTube, man. To the YouTube stuff, man. So yeah, man. Practice. We talking about practice. Shout out AI, and I ain't talking about, ChatGPT. We talking about the real one. Number 3. But that's it for today. If y'all can do me a big favor, all I ask is for a like. Like this video. That's only if I gave you some value, though. If y'all ain't giving me no value, then just go on with your day. But yeah, man. Yeah, so shout out to the Primegold family. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all stayed in this far, y'all gonna be successful, man. Y'all going somewhere, cause y'all really, y'all truth seeking. Y'all really building. So I just want to give y'all, a pat on the back for that, But in the meantime, y'all be safe out there and keep doing y'all thing.